Let's get the show on the road. So we are, of course, going to be talking about database. We're going to continue to move in that direction. As the audience continues to grow, I want you guys to be, of course, prepared with some questions. So I want to make sure that, of course, we are continuing to work on the most important part. What's the most important part? Well, that is the implementation. Because without it, we're speaking in theory. So I want to make sure that we're all putting this thing into effect. Now, if you're a realtor, this is definitely the source that you need to be marketing, you need to be going after, you need to be making the calls, you need to be able to build that confidence so that, of course, we can extract that 10%. Every single last coaching client, every single last millionaire agent I've had the good fortune of, this is one of the sources that actually I park in for a little bit. This is how I get the good fortune of doubling, tripling, and quadrupling agents' business. And in most cases, making, of course, those millionaire agents, which I'm hoping, of course, is those of you that are in attendance. So I'm going to go into some notes. And before I go into the notes and in detail, I want to go ahead and open it up to the audience. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, any observations, anything of anything, just bring it on in.
Good morning, Robert. This is Sujata.
Good morning.
I wanted to just let you know that how much I use this information for my last week, meeting with my past clients, and really appreciated the way you have approached the things, and it worked out. Almost 4 of my clients wanted to invest the property, and then I'm helping them out. Wednesday, I'm touring with them. So appointment has been scheduled already. So thank you so much for pushing into this direction. This is really helpful and really work, right? So
yeah, well, the applause goes to you because ultimately you're the one that ends up getting paid for this. So
I just took those Christmas small trees, from Costco. Those are $20 for 4 or 5 trees. I took them and I just wishing them happy holidays and just have some conversation.
I love it.
And then a couple of clients that I called them that I haven't talked to them for the past 4 years.
Okay.
And then got the dot connected.
It happens, and that's the way that it actually works. And the thing is that we don't even realize this. It's one of those things that we are unfortunately oblivious to because we do get business. You're a great agent. You get business. But the thing is that we don't realize the business that we're losing. And the business that we're losing, unfortunately, for most agents, it is 2, 3, 4 times more than we think it is. So thank you for that. Thank you for using it. Of course, the implementation is always going to be key. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on to a question. Any other comments, any other concerns that we can address before I move on in regards to some additional notes? Nope. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's talk about, of course, continuing on the topic of database. So let me pull up my notes. They kind of hid behind me. All right. So last week we were, of course, talking about that 30 to 35% of your business should come from this source. Now, what do I mean by that? Because some of you, unfortunately, this is the largest, if not all of your business coming from one source. Okay. Some of you are in a position last year, you had a good year, you did 13 deals, and of the 11 deals, they came from the one source. Cool. Awesome. The thing, though, is that you need to make this only 30 to 35%. What do I mean by that? You have to have diversification. Of course, we're on the topic of database. Of course, I want you to grow your database, but while you're growing your database, you should be able to get business from your other sources. I ask of all of my coaching clients to have 4 to 6 different sources of business. Okay. And if you're the type of agent that only got business from 1 or 2 sources, you have to diversify. Okay. Of course, if you want to grow. If you don't want to grow, then that's perfectly fine. Continue doing with what you're doing. But if you want to grow, if you want to double, triple, and even quadruple your business and become one of my next millionaire agents, what you have to do is you have to have a diversification. And in that diversification, it may not necessarily be a substantial amount of business. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, a large percentage of your business, 80% of it comes from your database. Okay, but you also got 2 deals from open house, and that's it. Those are your 2 sources. Well, you need to get to that 3rd, 4th, and even 5th source. And let's just say in the 3rd, the 4th, and even in that 5th source, you only got 1 deal, and 1 deal. Okay. So in other words, if you're the type of agent that got 8 deals from your database, 2 from open houses, and 1 from door knocking, 1 from an expired, 1 from, social media. What I'm getting at is this. This next year, what I ask of my coaching clients is, okay, let's do a recap. Everything I just went through. So how do we go from 8 deals from this source to 15? How do we go from 2 deals to 5? How do we go from 1 deal to 3 or 2 or whatever? This is how I double agent's business. What I don't want you doing is putting together this business plan and saying, okay, next year I'm going to do 24 deals or 50 or 100 or 200. And then look up December 31st and go, oh, well, what did I end up doing? Right? That's not how it works. You have to be strategic. Any good CEO, which is you, you're CEO of your own company. Any good CEO knows their numbers. So you have to be able to track that and monitor as you're progressing. We go through with all of my coaching clients on a quarterly basis, looking at where you're at. Your database, you were supposed to do 16 deals for the entire year. Right now you're at 2 and we're at the end of first quarter. What are we doing? Well, I'm not calling them. Okay. Well, what do we need to do in order to get you there? Well, yeah, I got to call them. What are you going to talk to them about? I don't know. Good. Well, let's work on that. Let me hear with what you got going on. That's how coaching works. Okay. And you have to be able to monitor that as you continue to progress. Sujata just brought something up, which is another point that I want to just make, what I want to make. And that is basically don't hesitate to call the people you haven't spoken with in a while, whether that's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. Okay. They haven't been waiting for your call. They have not been waiting for your call. And that's okay. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to apologize to them. Okay. And the way that basically goes is, Joe, hey, it's Robert Villanueva. How are you doing? Robert? Yeah, Villanueva. Oh, man. Hey, what's up? What's going on? How you been? Yeah, I was scrolling through my phone and I'm sitting here. I came across Joe and man, last thing I want to do is send you some random text. I figured I'd pick up the phone and call you. How are you doing? How's life? How's the kids? How's work? How's everything going? Hey, Joe, what I want to do is I want to make sure another 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years doesn't go by again. Is it okay if I check in with you 3, 4 times a year? Boom, you put them right back into rotation. It does not matter. This right here is probably, maybe not the audience that's here today, but this is probably about 80 to 90% of the agent's issues. And what do? They look in the rearview mirror, that past client from 2, 3, 5 years ago. Oh man, it's too late. Oh man, I'm going to start working with my new past clients. Right? And you keep doing this stupid domino. And then a year from now, you do the exact same thing. Dang it. All right, this year I'm going to do it for sure. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. Pick up the phone, call them. Will there be some people that are going to be rude, obnoxious, and don't want you to call them? Sure. But I don't want you to worry about the 1 person out of 100. I'd rather you focus on the 99 out of 100. Can we all agree to that? Okay. And if you don't agree to it, it's okay. Just shake your head yes.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Good. Questions, comments, concerns? I'm going to keep moving on with some other points.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ophelia.
When would you say is a good time to call? Anytime, I'm trying to catch them actually on the phone as opposed to leaving a voicemail message because they're working so okay. Just wanted to.
Can I say something, Robert?
Sure, go ahead.
That question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I did this after 4 years, the client that I called, I simply texted him first. Hey, how are you doing? Hope everything is okay. I'm sorry I haven't connected with you for a while. When is a good time that I can call you? And then his response came back after an hour. He said, can we talk today after 5:30? And that's how I got connected.
Yeah, that's definitely an approach. What I would do, though, just real quick, not to correct you, Sujata, is I would just pick up the phone and call him first. Okay. But do exactly with what you said as option number 2. Okay. Because by you calling them, you call them and they pick up, great, awesome. If they don't, then you do exactly with what you said. So that's the one little tweak that I would recommend. Now, I don't think we answered your question though in detail though, Ophelia. As far as the individual is concerned, it's subject to who they are. Okay, so you're going to need to know who they are. If they are basically a nurse that constantly works the PM shift, well, maybe you're probably going to want to call them, in the mornings. Okay, so you just have to know who your audience is. If I'm working with a school teacher as an example, well, the likelihood of them picking up between the hours of 8 and 3 is probably going to be pretty slim to none. So I might have to call them very first thing in the morning, okay, or call them after basically school hours. Okay, so you're gonna have to, and that's one thing that I want you guys to do. It's not actually in my notes, but that brings up a good point. Prepare your calls for that day, preferably the day before, or at the very least the morning of. And then now we go through and I say, okay, I got 5 people. Okay, and of the 5 people I'm gonna call, I'm gonna call Felia. Okay, so Felia, she usually is between 8 and 3, so I'll put her at the end of the day. I'm gonna call Vivian. Okay, Vivian, oh yeah, she's an early riser. I know she's always posting that she's at the gym. Okay, I'm gonna call Sujata. Oh yeah, she's another early riser. So I'm going to go ahead and coordinate this. And as I go through about my day, we've talked about call sequence in the past. I'll go through, work on my scripts as we are here, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. I pick up the phone at 8 o'clock. I start to call expireds. And then after expires, when I'm done with the expires, I might pick up one of my database or two of my database and or a lead follow-up. Pick up the phone, give them a call. Vivian, hey, it's Robert, your realtor, blah, 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 blah. And then I move on to another source. I go over to for sale by owner. And then after for sale by owner, I might go back and maybe Vivian called me while I was on the phone. And then I basically call her back and we start doing this little phone tag thingy. Okay. And I just keep going back and forth. Expires, expires database, lead follow up, for sale by owners, another database, another lead follow up, just listed, database, lead follow up. Okay. So some of you have in your schedule very time blocked. Be careful with that. It's a very important question that you asked, Ophelia, because some of you will actually have, as an example, I'm going to call my lead follow-up between 11 and 1. I'm going to call my database, after 1 o'clock. And you're doing that consistently. Kudos for you. The problem, though, is that if that's not, as an example, lead follow-up, you call, Joe, the expired, at 1 o'clock because you promised him you were going to call and follow up with him. But you spoke to him at 8:05. Right? And little do you know, he's a UPS driver and, he's usually working the late shift. I don't know. I don't know what their hours are, but as an example. And then you keep calling at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and then they don't pick up. Okay. It's the same thing with our database. So just simply know who you're calling, Ophelia. It's definitely, of course, an important question that led to a bunch of tangents. So, okay. Other questions that I can address? Nope. All right. How many of you here have an assistant of sorts? Okay. If you do, what I'm going to encourage you is with that assistant is have them create their database. Okay. One thing that I used to do with my assistants is I would have them do, okay, you got to listen to this. This is really important. Okay. I would have them do service calls. I would call my database 4 to 6 times a year, depending on who they are. But I'd also have my staff do 2 service calls a year. What are the service calls? Okay, again, if you have an assistant, pay attention. Service calls were basically nothing more than where the person would basically pick up the phone, my assistant, would give Joe a call. Joe, hey, this is Susie. I'm calling on behalf of your realtor, Robert Villanueva. He wanted me to reach out to you to see if there was any real estate questions that we can answer for you. No? Okay, great. Well, the second question was he wanted me to ask you, who do you know of that's in the market looking to buy, sell, or for that matter, even looking to invest that we should be reaching out to? No one? Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Robert says hello. We'll talk soon, okay? Bye-bye. But every once in a while, my assistant would get the, hey, oh my gosh, you know what? I've been meaning to call Robert. Can you have him call me? Or, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. I do have somebody. I actually was intending to reach out to him, but I've been a little bit busy for the last 2-3 weeks, so thank you for calling me. Okay, so it's a little bit of a shot in the dark, but we would get 2, 3, 5 of those every single year from staff. If they have, have them as your assistants create their own personal database. Okay, now what you compensate them, that's up to you. Okay, because obviously we're not supposed to compensate people that don't have a license. Okay, so I'm going to leave that up to you. Definitely do not do a 50-50 thing with them. They'll tell you that. Okay, so don't do that because they will become your competition very quick. All right. Other questions? All right. We have to speak to them. Here, let me give you the formula. We've talked a little bit about this. How often? How many people do I speak to? I don't even know how many people I need to talk to a day. Let me give you guys the formula. Here it is. Okay, and I'm going to break down another script before I let you guys go. 5 categories. Remember, this is our database. Past clients, family, whether you like, love, or hate them, friends, Associates. Remember, associates are people that we do business with out in the community. Dentists, doctor, lawyers, dry cleaners, mechanics, barber, nail salon, hair salon, all of those people. If you give them money, you should be putting them in your database. The fifth one is your vendors. Okay, escrow, title, attorney, lender, home warranty, termite, septic, roofer, plumber, electrician, everybody who helps you in the real estate business. Those people, you put them on a list. Excel spreadsheet is my personal favorite. Separate the husband and the wives as two separate entries when you have a relationship with them. Okay, so in other words, Bob Smith and then Mary Smith. Yeah. Why do we do that? Again, we have to remember, Bob's in construction, Mary is a nurse. They have this common circle amongst them, probably 60, 70, 80% of the people, but they also have these outer circles, which is the people that they work with that they don't even have any clue. Okay, so you have to be able to reach out to both of them. Now, add up, okay, based on those 5 categories. Even if you're just, in a position where you're doing this in your head, it's okay. Past clients, family, friends, associates, and vendors. How many people do you have on that list? I want you to think about that for a quick second. Okay. Okay, you have that number? Okay, here's what we do. We're going to take the number 60, 60, and you're going to divide into that. As an example, I have 240 people in my database. I'm going to take 60 and I'm going to divide that into 240, and that's going to give me the number 4. That's the number of conversations I need to have. Okay. Bless you, Ophelia. So we're going to have 4 conversations a day with our database. And all you're going to do is just go from the top to bottom. Okay. And sometimes you might have to resort them because I already know you guys. What do you guys do? You call the A's, you call the B's, you call the C's, the D's, oh my gosh, I forgot. And then you move on. You don't call them. You neglect them. And then you start over again. A, B, C, D. Those A, B, and C's, they get a lot of calls. Okay, so you might have to go ZYX. Okay, I'm not too far from Z, so I know about being at the end of the alphabet. Okay, why 60 is the question. We got to call them 4 times a year. 4 times a year. In 1 quarter is 3 months. Okay, you guys with me? 1 quarter is 3 months. Each month, on average, number of business days is 20. 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60. You guys didn't know you have to do math this morning, huh? I don't have my math brain on yet. Okay, so 60, that's where we come up with the number. Okay, why do I give this to you? Because today's 240, after we do this exercise at the end of the month, you're like, oh my gosh, Robert, I just realized I don't have 240 people. I have 372 people. Well, if you have 372 people, well, 4 is not going to be enough. Why do you have 372? Because you went through your Facebook, you went through your Instagram, you went through your TikTok, you went through, your Tinder, your Christian Mingle, you went through all of those, and you started adding the people from your database. Okay. And go through your phone. I guarantee you there's probably 10, 15, 20, 100 people in your phone that you don't have in your personal database as you should. It's scary. I get it. And again, the reason why agents don't call them is for 2 reasons. Don't be one of these agents, okay? You will not be a millionaire agent if you overlook this particular source. But I'm going to help you, okay? And the 2 reasons is, number 1 is your ego. It's your ego, for lack of better words. Oh, they already know I'm in the business, okay? I already get business from them. I don't need to call them. I don't want to bug them, okay? Yeah, everybody knows I'm in real estate. And the reason you say that is because you don't want to come across desperate. You don't want to look like you're needy, right? But you haven't closed the deal in 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months. You're wondering how you're going to be paying for Christmas presents. You're going to put it on your credit card again, and this is your 4th, 5th, 7th year in a row doing it. How about making it a little bit different this time around? Okay. So this puts you in a position where you are being empowered by knowing what you're supposed to be doing and how to go about it. Okay. Whether it's tomorrow or the next day, we're going to come up with what do we tell them, okay? Which is number two. That's the number two reason we don't call them. We don't know what to tell them. We don't know what to say. Robert, I don't know what to tell them. Okay. I've seen the script before. Okay. Joe, hey, it's Robert. This is a business call. Do you have a minute for me? Oh, well, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell in the next 7 to 10 days? Oh, no one. Okay. Anybody from your church, family? No. How about yourself? No. Okay. All right. Bye. Damn, that was weird. Right? And you didn't even want to do it again. I'm going to give you exactly what you need to say. Okay. But you got to keep coming in. The more you come, the more value you're going to get, the more opportunities you're going to get. And I guarantee you, Sujata, that's probably 15, 20, 25, if not $40,000 worth of commission. Okay. That was definitely worth the investment of showing up. Okay. So any questions? I got a few more minutes. I want to share a script with you guys and, of course, be able to create value. So questions that I can address. Now you guys got it all figured out? Awesome.
We need the script, Robert. No, when we call him, we know what to say, how to say it.
Yeah. So in that, I'm going to give you guys a brief overview. So thank you for the segue. My computer's it's been very, very funny of recent. So I'm trying to share screen with you, and it should happen any second. And the scripts that I want you guys to pay attention to. Okay. So, and again, if you guys need scripts, go ahead and just send me a DM. Okay. Preferably send it to me over on Instagram or Facebook. I'll go ahead and, of course, get those scripts over to you guys. Okay. So a couple of scripts. There's a database intro script. Okay. The database intro script. Hi, Joe. This is Robert. Do you have a minute for me? The reason I'm calling is I'm excited to announce that I've joined this new company. Okay, this is kind of a way of creating some version of connection. These are people that you have not spoken with in a while. I wanted to see if it was okay if I checked in with you 3 to 4 times a year. Okay, that's basically for people that you haven't spoken with, you've transitioned, you've now made the decision, hey, I want to join Robert over at Real. Okay, you guys can use that. Here's the next one. Okay. Okay, this is actually the meat and potatoes. And again, I'm going to get this over to you guys. So if you guys need them, just go ahead and DM me. So, hi, Joe. This is Robert, your realtor. I wanted to borrow you for a few minutes to give you a quick little real estate update. You have a few minutes for me. I can borrow. Sure. What's up? Well, I was giving you a call because I don't know if you're aware of the interest rates is doing this. The market is doing that. It's a seller's market. It's a buyer's market. There's this new law change. Have you heard about the following? Whatever it is. The value is my point. My question to you, Joe, is who do you know that is needing this information, looking to buy, sell, or even invest? Okay. So how about anybody from work? No. Okay. Any of your neighbors, family? Okay. And of course, as you can see here, I'm saying ask more specific. So as an example, if you know that they bowl, if they're golfers, if they are, I don't know, whatever they do. Okay. Can you think of somebody who is from, daycare? Can you think of somebody from the PTA? Can you think of somebody from, the dog community? I don't know. Get to know them. You guys got that? Yeah. And then the database adoption script. Okay, this is basically going through. Hi, Joe. This is Robert. I was simply calling. I wasn't sure if you knew I'm a full-time realtor. Okay. The guy at the gym. David, I don't even know if he's on here, okay? But David basically just made the connection with him. We told them that we're local realtors and we'd love the opportunity to be a go-to source from. And now I razz the dude. Hey, who do you know of? Who's looking to buy? Who's looking to sell? You can adopt these people, okay? So whether you have been a coach, if you're part of a group, an organization, somebody, part of church, whatever it is, embrace these people. You guys got that? Okay. So depending on where you're at, because the goal is to funnel them into the point where you're calling them 3 to 4 times a year. And then eventually we're going to talk about the mastery of it. What is the mastery of it? Well, there's going to be some people you're going to create them as a AA list. Your A list, your B list, and your C list. Okay. We'll go over that later. I don't want to confuse you guys, but you're going to start to create a hierarchy. And the reason you're going to create a hierarchy is because, for example, with me, I want to be able to talk to the mayor a little bit more often because the mayor's running into the people all of the time. Whereas my cousin, who is 19 years old, works at Jack in the Box, I don't need to call him every single month, right? Okay. Or the attorney that is a probate attorney or a divorce attorney, or a trust attorney, or my lender. Bobby, hey, you haven't sent me a buyer this year. You haven't sent me a seller. Where are they at? Which we'll talk about later. Okay. Which is super cool because you open up the doors on January 1st and you can go through and say, okay, my lender's going to give me X number of deals. My title person's going to give me X number of deals. My home warranty, my termite, my septic, my whoever. I already got 8 deals and it's already January 1st. I don't know when and where they're going to come, but they're going to come. Okay. Which we'll talk about that later. Questions, comments, concerns. We're pretty close to time. So I want to make sure I address some questions. Okay. So here's what I want to make sure we do. We have to understand that the biggest part, as I've mentioned before, we have to do the implementation. Okay. The implementation of this is absolutely vital because in the implementation is where we're going to learn. And preferably, even better, as Sujata just mentioned this morning, you're going to get the results. Okay. And sometimes these results, it's not too bad. Okay. Vivian, you're in Arcadia. Okay. I would venture to say you're probably about $25,000 to $30,000 average commission. Okay. So, know where you're at. Okay. So sometimes that one phone call could very easily lead to a 15, 20, 30, 50,000 deal and some. Okay. You never, ever, ever know. Okay. So you have to do everything in your power. Okay. To make sure, you guys are making those calls. Okay. I'm going to let you guys go a little bit early. Okay, I'm going to be attending the Mike Ferry event today in Anaheim. So if you guys are attending, please come say hello. Okay, so I'll be there. Of course, as always, I'm going to encourage you to please keep showing up. I'm going to encourage you to, of course, continue to invite all of your friends. Actually, I'm going to ask of you guys to do something a little bit different. Okay, go on YouTube, find a video, send it to one of your real estate or 50 real estate homies and say, hey, you got to follow this guy. Okay, so I really appreciate that. And of course, I'm here to make millionaires. So I'm hoping you guys are doing everything in your power, of course, to take the steps so that you can become the successful realtor that I know you guys are capable of. Okay, let's have a powerful and productive day. I'll see you guys soon. Go out and take a listing or 5. I'll see you guys later. Talk to you then.
Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Robert.
Bye-bye.
You're Robert.